Alright, I want to talk to you about a servo project I'm going to do with my Summit. As you can see, this is the one I've stretched to fit the Hummer body. I've left it actually like this because it's pretty strong, for those of you who are wondering why I haven't done anything with it, because I have found these are extremely strong and I have no interest in changing at this point. It's ugly, but it's very strong. Anyway, back to the project. I had to replace all my servos. They all were shot and shorted, so it was time to replace them. I replaced the stock servos with the stock 2075 servos for the steering. I'm not going to make any changes there. However, on the servos to change the gears, there are these small 2065 servos that I'm going to replace with the servos they use in their 1/16th scale cars for steering, which are the 2080 series, I believe it is. Yes, 2080 series. So I'm going to swap these out. There's a big difference in the two sizes. As you can see here, it's quite a difference in size. So I'm going to run through my plan with you and then we'll see if this works. Basically what's going to happen is I'm going to take the larger servo, one here to control my high-low gear. Okay, so it's going to be kind of probably like this to control the high-low gear. I have to see which way I'm going to place it, but that's my idea for now. And then I'm going to place a second in here for the front shifter. So it'll go like this for the front shifter. Then I'm going to take one of the original smaller servos that I had for the rear. Instead of running that long piece that goes all the way back, as you can see, I've taken it off. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to run a shorter piece of metal from here all the way up to the front and then put the servo probably someplace right here. So that way it's a more direct route. There's not as much flex in the line. So I'm thinking about doing that. We'll see if I do that. At this point I just have the rears locked because I was going to just lock the rear differentials, but I don't know yet. I'm going back and forth on that whether I will or not. But I just wanted to let you know that's my intention. I'll take some more video as soon as I move a little further. Alright, this is just a little more information on where I'm at with my project here. I'm running across all kinds of problems, things I didn't take into consideration, like the leads from the new larger servos are so short. They're only about 5-6 inches long compared to the leads from the micro servos, which are very long, maybe 12 inches or so. So that's a big problem I've run across. I've had to kind of rearrange things. I've moved my receiver box here. I swapped sides with my speed control. I've also kind of decided, because I'm seeing an issue with it from changing when it turns, the span, the range that it moves back and forth is significantly greater than the micros. I think the micros are somehow predetermined to, let's just say, move that far, whereas the steering ones run the full range to each side, let's say, of that far. And that may not seem like a big difference until it's trying to lock the gears. It's trying to pull it beyond. So if this was some kind of elastic where it could stretch and give a little bit, it may not be such an issue. That seems to be an issue. So what I've done is, as you can see here, instead of bolting them in, I've rubber glued them in. That gives just a little bit of play while staying intact, so I'm hoping that'll work. I did the same thing here with the side one. So instead of it being mounted solid to the body, I decided on going with rubber glue because it will let it wiggle just a little, you know, but hopefully enough that it doesn't grind out the gears. We'll see what happens. This is where I'm at with it at this point. I'm going to have to replace this one here, and I think I'm going to replace it with another micro instead of the more ounces per inch units. Just because of the lead, I have to run it all the way around underneath the motor, and then to the box here. So I think I'm going to go with that one just for that reason, because I don't want to put extenders on it if I don't have to. But who knows? I may change my mind. But at this point, that's where I'm at with things. I'm hoping this will work. This seems okay. I've now shortened the distance in my truck from it changing gears to just this little back area. So this is where I'm going to change the gears on the back. Here's, of course, for the front. That hasn't changed. The only difference is I took out what was here and I put in the larger one. This is going to stay exactly the same here because, like I said, I need that longer lead, and I prefer a single wire instead of having a connection, especially when I'm going through the water. So I'm going to give that a try and see what happens. that's where I'm at with it. This is tougher than I thought it was going to be, just because of little things that have popped up. So I'll let you go as I move forward later. All right, I wanted to close up the video to show you the finished product. As I mentioned before, I did have problems with some of the servos, like the lead lengths, how they were mounted because of the amount of movement in the head. Same thing here in the back. So this is how I finally ended up doing it. As you can see, this is all hot glued, rubber cemented in, so that way it allows a little bit of flex. Same thing here with the two larger 40+ ounce servos, and then with the regular 30-ounce servos, it's just mounted in the same exact place. I ran all the wires around and through, underneath, and into the unit, so everything's moved there. As you can see, it's all been strapped in place, so that way it's far enough away from axle and spur gear here in the corner. There's the spur gear. So everything looks good. I just want to give you just a quick show of it moving. Here it goes. Here is the gear change. Oh, would help if I turn on the power. There you go. Gear change. So there you go. There's the gear change. Here is the front locking differential. As you can see there, it's locking the differential. The rear, here we go. Here's the rear. So rear's locking. Okay. If you want to see it all kind of moving at once, the front and rear, so there you go. So everything seems to be working really well. I got to give it a try and see what happens. Otherwise, the project was a little bit of a pain to figure out some of these things. I don't know how well the gluing in place is going to work, but I'm going to give it a try and see what happens. So we'll see what happens, and I'll speak with you soon. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope this helps out anyone who's considering doing this to their summits. Take it easy. Bye.